Back when I was a kid, Korean SUVs barely registered on anyone's radar. But here we are in 2026, and these things are hauling past the usual suspects with bold design, slick tech, and guts to spare. I've been digging into this new crop from Hyundai, Kia, and Genesis. It's not just keeping up, it's redefining what value and performance look like in an SUV. Hello everyone, this is Scott from CarlandTV. It's time to hop in the front seat because today, we're diving into the 2026 Korean SUVs that aren't just playing catch-up anymore. They're gunning straight for the crown and giving the big dogs a real reason to sweat. But first, do me a quick favor. Tap that subscribe button and ring the bell so you don't miss what's coming next. It ain't required, but those clicks keep this thing rolling and make it easier for me to keep dropping solid car content straight to your screen. Now, let's get back into it. 2026 Hyundai Tucson. Here's why the 2026 Hyundai Tucson is a headache for every other compact SUV. It undercuts most rivals on price, stacks real tech, and backs it with the best warranty in the class. The base gas model sticks with the proven 187 horsepower 2.5-liter four-cylinder and an 8-speed, with optional HTRAC all-wheel drive. It is simple, reliable, and exactly what most families want day to day. Pricing stays sharp, about $30,600 to $40,600 for the core trims, so you're getting a big-feeling cabin, quiet ride, and modern safety without paying luxury money. And if you want more punch or better fuel economy, Hyundai gives you a real choice. Hybrid and plug-in hybrid versions that broaden the lineup without forcing you into a single powertrain strategy. What seals it is the facelift and feature load that landed for 2025 and carries forward. The cleaner dash with big digital displays, the return of useful physical controls, and wireless Apple CarPlay, Android Auto now standard across trims. Add in SmartSense driver assists, AEB with pedestrian detection, lane e-keeping, available lane centering cruise, and practical touches like a 2,000-pound tow rating, and you've got a compact that's easy to live with Monday through Sunday. Then Hyundai stacks the deck with coverage. 5 years or 60,000 miles basic, 10 years or 100,000 miles for the powertrain, plus 3 years or 36,000 miles complimentary maintenance, which keeps long-term cost of ownership in your corner and makes trade-ups later a lot easier. If you're trying to call the 2026 compact SUV champ of value, breadth, and everyday refinement, the Tucson's right there on the front row. Up next, the big brother that's shaking up the three-row game, 2026 Hyundai Palisade. The 2026 Hyundai Palisade shows up swinging in the three-row SUV game, and it's clear Hyundai wanted this second-gen model to feel more than just a family hauler. They stretched the wheelbase, squared off the design, and gave it a tougher face that lines up with Hyundai's Ioniq 9 Electron-Volt styling cues. Power still comes from a 287 horsepower 3.5-liter V6 paired with an 8-speed automatic, with either front-wheel drive or all-wheel drive on tap. It's not a barn burner off the line, but a projected 6.6-second 0 to 60 is more than fine for its size, and the new XRT Pro trim brings a raised suspension, terrain modes, and integrated tow hardware, so you're not just limited to soccer field duty. You can actually use that 5,000-pound tow rating for real weekend toys. Inside, Hyundai leaned heavily into comfort and tech. Even the mid-level trims come with ventilated fronts, heated second-row seats, a 360-degree camera, and a digital rearview mirror. Go calligraphy, and you're basically sitting in a Genesis with quilted leather, a curved dual 12.3-inch display, Bose audio, and even a UVC sanitizing tray. Cargo space shakes out to 19.1 cubic feet behind the third row, and a max of 87 cubed with seats folded, which of course is plenty for road trips and Costco runs. EPA numbers sit around 21 miles per gallon combined for front-wheel drive, a tick lower for all-wheel drive. What makes the Palisade dangerous to its rivals is balance. It's cheaper than a Toyota Grand Highlander, more stylish than a Honda Pilot, and nearly as plush as a luxury badge SUV without the badge tax. And unlike some competitors, Hyundai's still backing it with the 10-year or 100,000-mile powertrain warranty, which goes a long way with families planning to keep it long-term. Next, let's jump into Hyundai's all-electric flagship, 2026 Hyundai Ioniq 9. The 2026 Hyundai Ioniq 9 is Hyundai saying, yeah, we can play in the big leagues of three-row EVs. This thing isn't just a Palisade with a plug. It's a ground-up electric flagship riding on the eGMP platform, stretched out to nearly 200 inches long with a 123-inch wheelbase. You can spec it with rear-wheel drive and a single 215-horse motor for a max range of 335 miles, or go dual motor with up to 422 horses and 516 pound-feet of torque, which yanks this 6,000-pound rig to 60-inch, just 4.4 seconds. That's family hauler speed with muscle car numbers. And thanks to a 110.3 kilowatt-hour pack, you still get 311 miles of range even in the hot trim. On a 350 kilowatt T DC fast charger, Hyundai claims 10 to 80% in 24 minutes, which is about as quick as you'll find outside of Tesla's supercharger network. Interior-wise, Hyundai leaned into that lounge vibe. Swivel second-row seats, a sliding center console, massage, relaxation front seats, and sustainable trim that still looks premium. You've got 22 cubic feet of cargo behind the third row and up to 87 cubes max, plus a small frunk. Tech's all there. Dual 12-inch curved displays, wireless Apple CarPlay, Android Auto, 7 USB-C ports, Hyundai Pay, and available Bose 14 speaker audio. And safety? Everything from adaptive cruise with lane centering to auto emergency braking with pedestrian detection comes standard. Here's the kicker. At $60,000 to $80,000, it undercuts a lot of luxury EVs but still packs the refinement. For families ready to ditch gas without losing space or comfort, the Ioniq 9 isn't just another option, it's the benchmark Hyundai's betting on. And right behind it comes Kia's own answer, the updated 2026 Sorento, which keeps things a little smaller but just as sharp. 2026 Kia Sorento. The 2026 Kia Sorento feels like that middleweight fighter nobody sees coming, leaner than a Telluride, but still packing enough punch to make you think twice. I've always liked how the Sorento carves out its own lane. It's not trying to be a full-blown family bus, but it still gives you a third row when you need it, 2 solid engine choices, and trims that run from budget-friendly to rugged X-Pro with all-terrain tires. The base 2.5-liter 4-cylinder makes 191 horsepower, good enough for the school run, but if you want some pep, the 281 horsepower Turbo 4 is the one. It'll scoot to 60-inch around 6 seconds, which is quick for a 7-seater. Towing caps at 4,000 pounds in X-Pro guise, so while it won't replace your F-150, it'll haul a couple of jet skis or a pop-up camper without drama. Step inside, and the Sorento surprises again. Kia's been killing it with interiors lately, and even here you get stitched surfaces, ambient lighting, and a slick twin-screen setup that pairs a 12.3-inch infotainment with a digital gauge cluster. Wireless Apple CarPlay, Android Auto is standard, and you can step up to Bose audio, wireless charging, and even rear seat entertainment. Third row's still tight, yeah, no miracle there. But for families who need occasional 7-seat flexibility without full-size bulk, it gets the job done. Fuel economy stays respectable, around 23-26 mpg combined, and Kia backs it with the same 10-year or 100,000-mile powertrain warranty you see on Hyundai. For a starting price of $33,635, the Sorento lands right where value and versatility meet, and that's why it still deserves a spotlight in 2026. Let's switch to another domineering Kia 3-row SUV, 2026 Kia EV9. The 2026 Kia EV9 is the kind of SUV that makes you rethink what family rig even means. When Kia dropped this 3-row EV a couple of years back, it already felt like the Telluride's cooler, electric cousin. But now they've gone and added the GT model with 501 horsepower. Yeah, you heard that right. A 7-seater with nearly Hellcat numbers, running dual motors, adaptive suspension, and targeting a sub-4.5-second sprint to 60. That's wild territory for something that can still haul kids, groceries, and a boat on the weekend. Range sits between 230 and 304 miles, depending on trim, and every version now rocks the NACS charging port, so you can juice up at Tesla superchargers. Plug into a 350 kW fast charger, and you're looking at 100 miles in about 13 minutes, which makes road trips way less stressful. Kia didn't cut corners in its cabin, either. You've got options for 6 or 7 seats, heated and ventilated captain's chairs, power-folding third row, and even massaging seats in the top trims. Cargo space comes in at 20 cubic feet behind the third row, up to 82 with seats folded, so it's right there with the Telluride in practicality. The cabin's loaded with dual 12.3-inch displays, slick ambient lighting, and a GT-exclusive interior theme with neon green accents if you want it to scream performance. Safety gear is stacked, auto emergency braking, lane keeping, adaptive cruise, and even a hands-free driving mode on the higher trims. Starting around $56,500 and topping out near $80,000, the EV9 simply sweeps other luxury EVs while giving you just as much space, speed, and charging tech. To me, This is the SUV that proves electric doesn't mean compromise, it means options. 2026 Genesis GV70 Electric. The 2026 Genesis electrified GV70 is proof that going electric doesn't mean giving up style, speed, or luxury. I've driven enough EVs to know some feel like science projects. This one doesn't. It looks like money inside and out, and with 483 horsepower on tap, it'll rip to 60-inch 3.8 seconds, which is quicker than the gas twin-turbo V6 version ever managed. That dual-motor all-wheel drive setup isn't tuned for canyon carving like a Porsche Macan EV, but it's smooth, planted, and dead quiet when you're cruising. Genesis did update the battery this year, though don't expect a Tesla-like jump in range. It's still around 236 miles EPA, but fast charging is where it makes up ground. Hook it to a 240 kilowatt DC fast charger, and you're adding 100 miles in just over 13 minutes, which keeps road trips from feeling like hostage situations at a charging station. Step inside, and you can see where Genesis is stealing sales from BMW and Benz. The new 27-inch widescreen display stretches across the dash. The climate controls now live on their own touchscreen, and everything you touch, knurled dials, stitched leather, real metal feels like it belongs in a car costing way more. Genesis even throws in stuff you usually have to pay extra for: panoramic roof, wireless CarPlay and Android Auto, adaptive cruise, and a 360 camera. Cargo space matches the gas GV70, so you're not losing practicality either. At $65,800 to $76,800, it's not cheap. But stack that against a Mercedes EQE, SUV, or a Cadillac Lyriq, and the Genesis walks away looking like the smart buy. It's a sleeper pick. Luxury badge feel, sports car speed, and a warranty that shames the Germans. And if you think this is peak Genesis, wait until you see what's coming. 2026 Genesis GV90. The 2026 Genesis GV90 is Genesis stepping up and saying, yeah, we can build a true flagship SUV too, and it's electric. This thing is shaping up to be the crown jewel of their lineup, previewed by that wild Neo-Lun concept, but production's expected to go 3-row so it can actually haul the family and still feel like a rolling lounge. Word is, it'll pack close to 500 horsepower with dual motors standard and all-wheel drive baked in, so even at its size, it won't be sluggish. If they drop in the same 99, 8 kilowatt-hour pack from the Kia EV9, we're talking around 300 miles of range, and there's chatter about Genesis fitting an even bigger battery to push past that, so it can go toe-to-toe with stuff like the Lucid Gravity or Mercedes EQS SUV. And with air springs and electronic dampers, expect it to float down the road like a proper 6-figure ride should. Step inside, and you can bet Genesis is going to throw the full arsenal: plush leather, massive screens, mood lighting, probably even some tricks carried over from the concept, like those dramatic dark blue or purple interiors. Forget the wood floors. Production will stick with high-end carpet, but don't be shocked if they debut a couple of jaw-dropping finishes to separate it from Hyundai and Kia siblings. Pricing's pegged around $100,000 to $120,000, so it's shooting straight at the luxury heavyweights, but Genesis has been undercutting the Germans for years while offering just as much, sometimes more. To me, the GV90 is the exclamation point at the end of Korea's SUV lineup for 2026. They've got compacts, 3-rows, hybrids, EVs, and now a full-size electric flagship ready to run with the best. And if the GV70 electrified proved Genesis could do speed and refinement, the GV90 is about to prove they can do it big.